Welcome back, my friends and fellow gamers. I'm Wrath, and we're back in Hellion. So, I don't remember where my last episode left off. It's been actually quite a many few days since I went through any process with this game. So, I'm a little bit behind on where we left off. So, I'm just going to go ahead and get through everything that I need to do here. So I'm starting back off. One of the reasons for the delay was that I was trying to actually do like a focused guide on a specific topic, and unfortunately that didn't turn out too well. What I was trying to do was I was going to try and do a very targeted guide on how to get yourself out of the starting planet area fast. How to sort of like a quick start guide. Unfortunately, there is actually a lot that goes into that, and trying to rush it means that you leave yourself open for a variety of potential disasters. And every time one of those disasters would strike, it would make the whole video complete garbage, to put it nicely. And that was a severe problem, because it meant that every time I failed to do it, I would have to either go to a different server to start over, or I would have to try again in a few days after everything had despawned. Neither of which is really a enjoyable process. And for the most part, I got kind of pissed and took a little bit of rage quit time. Just purely for the fact that, I needed to chill out. So right now we're just going to go ahead and get into our process here. Shoot. Okay. I forgot. I gotta power everything up. So I can take that back. Need that. Put as much into that as I can, and I need to get my power online. It would help if I take the stinking thing with me. But I'm making rookie amateur mistakes today. As you can see, it's been a while since I played. I haven't made any critical errors. I skipped through the opening bit of having to create the go through the whole intro with that monologue, because you can't skip that mission, because if you do, you don't get any of these modules. It just doesn't spawn them. And so you kind of get screwed. So, since I couldn't skip that, I figured I'd save you all the torment and torture of listening to that same very loud voiceover of the initial get out of your bad situation process, because it really annoyed me. And so I figure if it annoys me, and I can be a fairly patient individual, then it's got to be damn near aggravating to everybody else after this many times of going through it. So we're just skipping it. And of course I'm skipping the two missions that they give you right here when you get here, because again, we've done this a million times. We know how to set up our base and get it squared away. We don't need a bunch of hand-holding telling us and forcing us to do everything in a particular order. We can do it in the order that best suits us, or in this case, us being me. It's great. I mean, it's a good tutorial for people who've not played the game yet. And if you're looking to see that, then I would recommend you go take a look at some of my earlier videos, because I've gone through those missions a couple of times now. Especially in like season 1, but feel free to go back even just to the start of season 2, and you'll see me go through those videos pretty regularly. through those early missions. So right now we're just going through the steps of getting the exterior of the station fixed up so that we can get everything else going. I am terrible at EVA. Okay, doesn't look like there's anything there. Check the bottom of this thing. And nope. Okay, so everything else is internal. Alright, so room by room, let's go. Take care of the fire hazard in this room. Okay. Close those doors. Alright, let's get to it here. We're going to need this thing in good working order. And of course, one of the nice things is I went ahead and grabbed up parts on my way out of the starting area, so I'm able to fill in a lot of the components that I need to start off with to have a decent start. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Alright, that's our fire risk. Okay, and now back to this door. Now somebody was saying that they want me to do more stuff with some of the guys that I was playing with before, and I probably will start including them more in my videos if they're down for it. I'm not going to force them to do YouTubing with me, especially since one of my friends used to do YouTube and has since sort of dropped off from it. But you know, that's sort of his thing. He doesn't. I'm not going to force him back into sort of that role if it's not something that he's interested in. So let's power that up. Let's go ahead and get some air in our tank here. Okay, so now that that's powered up, refinery, and let's refine. And let's start moving some resources around. So this is that same normal routine that we've gone through every single time before to get everything squared away in prep for creating our oxygen for the ship. Okay. So this is unfortunately the boring part, getting through all of the rough materials so that we can get ourselves set up, and that includes the raw materials here for crafting. So this playthrough, I'm not going to try to do anything fancy. I'm not going to try and do any kind of special one-off anymore where I'm trying to achieve like a specialized goal. I'm just going to do what needs to be done as I see it going forward. I will still try to get myself moved out of this general starting area as rapidly as I can, but I'm no longer going to be like ultra prioritizing it. And let's refill. Thank you. Okay. Okay, that can go, and I can take this, and we can go repair. Alright, we still don't have a breathable environment yet, so we're gonna need to get ourselves squared away. Okay, and then we can run the nitrates. So I'm beginning to think that if you time it right, the missions should allow you to visit all of the different places that you should visit in order to get away from Bethur in basically the order that you need to do them in. So I may redo the missions, but I think that for this starting component, I'm probably just going to do a quick run through all of the different areas and take the time to just go and get myself all the things that I need without really putting too much heavy lifting on myself for it. Obviously, there are precautions that I need to take, and I need to make sure that I spend the necessary time doing mining, because mining is everything in this game. It has become a serious component of any functional strategy. If you want to get through the game, if you want to basically survive, then at some point you have to start mining. It's just, there's no way around it, especially with the need for the higher tier materials. It's a non-starter. So we're going to go ahead and just refine this, and it looks like the amount of ferrite you get in that can is randomized, because it never seems to be the same amount. Like sometimes it's 130, but it's always at least over 100, which I guess is good. Oh, I'm yawning like crazy. It's a little late this evening, so I apologize if I'm a little bit sort of like I will try to make this recording not the most bland thing you've ever heard in your life, but then again, if you're watching my channel, that might be your thing. So let's take a look here, and let's unload that, toss that over there. Definitely gonna have to do a lot of iron mining. And that's sort of why the start with Bethur is really sort of a necessity for when you're playing this game, because they start you out with access to the materials that you need for the purposes that you need, right up until the point where you can get further along. So let's see here. And we'll put this one in here. There we go. Alright. Let's go ahead and power up the O2 generator. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and apply power to the fabricator so we can start manipulating things in there. And don't worry, I know that I'm getting low on oxygen, but I'm trying not to overuse it if it's not necessary. So let's go ahead and throw this stuff in the fabricator. Well, need to toss some things in here like this guy so that we can make more of them if we need to. Okay, and refined container. Yeah, that's a blue one. Because we don't have that, we can't produce any more of those if we need them. And then finally, some ammo. Alright, so those are all on the docket for things that we can now reproduce. But for the moment, the only thing that matters is the life support. So let's see what we've got here. Should have, oh, okay, so gotta shut that off because we're out of air, or out of electricity. So let's go ahead and fill this room and get that as our starting point. As soon as that oxygen becomes high enough, we should be able to breathe, which we can now. So we can take a breather on this one. Pun intended. Alright, so we're fully pressurized in here, but now we can't go anywhere until we recharge. So we've got to wait for a little bit, let this power back up. We'll wait till it gets a little bit higher. Alright, let's go ahead and power this back up for a few more seconds here. See if we can get this thing squared away. Alright, it keeps shutting down, so we're going to stop it again, and we're going to start pressurizing all of these rooms. Because we should have more than enough to finish pressurizing all of this. Alright, so we're almost set. Turn the lights off. Let's go ahead and power that back up. so we can get enough to fill up the airlock and the ship. So that's about 550. Alright. So while that's going on, let's go ahead and set ourselves up so we can reuse them later. So we want a regular old civilian nanite core. But we're not gonna be able to do it until the power catches up. I'm getting a lot of indigestion here. I might have a little trouble speaking here. It's like a tickle in the back of my throat. So unfortunately we're stuck with the whims of the machine. Go ahead and see about shutting everything down to reduce our profile. Alright, that should help a little bit. Alright, that's definitely making it come up a lot faster. So we can run this for a few more seconds. Alright, that should be enough. With that, we should be able to pressurize the whole dang system. And now we can power up this one as well. So we're getting ourselves set. Now I'm going to go ahead and craft a replacement for this one. And I'm probably going to end the video there. Mostly because it's late at night, and hopefully we won't have too much of a problem. My goal is that on the next recording I will have done enough off-screen mining to make it possible for us to have a fresh set of nanite cores on each of the modules so that I can easily switch between them, or rather so they'll last long enough for me to have time to do more recordings, because obviously they start you off with in a sort of dire straits kind of moment, but if I can get far enough ahead that I can get like tier 2 regular supply of tier 2 modules, then I may actually be able to supply myself long term and be able to have these not be such a pain in the backside. I think that once I'm able to get tier 2 nanite cores, I should be able to, I mean, that should extend the lifespan of my station a lot further, and so I'll have a lot more time that I can go between recordings, so that it's not, well, if you miss a couple of days, you gotta start all over because, you know, tough crap. That, or if I continue to have these problems, then I may simply switch to the single player version, since that does not age while you are offline, because it's a self-contained world. I'm not sure which route I'm going to go. I like the challenge of playing online with friends, or with people that can potentially be enemies, but I'm not sure how I feel all around about the whole situation. So we'll see. And like I said, if I get one more really major setback, then I'm probably going to just switch to a better solution, and do the single player so as to avoid all of this headache. Anyway, I think that's where we're going to wrap up the video this time around. We've got our station set up. I've got myself set in a new orbit, so I'm out of the default orbits, because for those of you who don't know, the default orbits are extremely dangerous, not just because somebody else might come and ruin your day, but also because they have a tendency to run into burner or be close enough that burner or broken marble ends up messing with them, and so you'll have your station in a good position, and then you'll come back online and find that your station's been destroyed because it accidentally got collided with burner or a couple of other ones I've seen is somebody was telling me that their station, they logged back in and found their station was on an escape orbit because it had been flung out into space by broken marble, and there was no way to recover it. So those are a couple things to keep in mind. Those starting orbits are not safe. Alright, so can I build another one of those? 30 and 10. So I can replace the one that I just did. That's good, but now I can rebuild those whenever I need them. So I'm not all that keen on getting a command module just yet. I think that my first goal is going to be parts as we go through all of this, so that I can fabricate whatever I might need. And then I think it's going to be tier 2 parts and then building a station, because then once I've got tier 2 parts, I can look at gathering the resources I need to build all of the necessary civilian, tier 2 and tier 3 civilian nanocores, because like if you look at this thing, it's if you look at this thing, it's down at like, I want to say not even like 10%. It's like it's at like 10% of its normal size, and that's like a week's worth of time, like 5 days or so. So that's pretty impressive. So 10 times that, that's like a month, a month and a half of time that, if you've got one of these at full power, you can toss it in here and it will last for a very, very long time. And I can totally live with that. So until next time, I think, this is where we're going to call it for today. But until next time, I'm Brad. I hope that you are enjoying these videos. And based on, the number of likes that I get and the comments and stuff, it does seem that you guys do enjoy these videos more than a lot of my other ones. So I am trying to make more content of these, but I also am trying to play other games and spend time playing games that my kids want to play and such. So I don't always get the time necessary to play this game as often as I would like. So I'm thinking that I may, like I said, if this one blows up in my face again, I'm probably going to transition to a single player game just so that I can do the recordings without the imminent threat of things blowing up while I'm not paying attention. And then I'll probably do the occasional stream with my friends so that we can do the recordings on whichever server we decide to play on for that day, and just, we can make a mess and be silly and have a lot of fun. Anyway, as I said, I hope you've enjoyed. I'm Wrath. Please like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please feel free to join my Discord. The link is in the doobly-doo at the bottom. And until next time, I will catch you on the flip side.